Today we will hear statements by the honourable members for the District of Placentia St Mary's, Humber Bay of Highlands, Mount Pearl Southlands, Conception Bay East Bell Island and Bonavista. The Honourable, the member for Placentia St Mary's.
Thank you, Speaker. On a September day in 1933, Catherine Linehan was born in North Harbour, St Mary's Bay, to Frank and Ida Power. She attended school in her tiny community until the age of 16, after which Catherine worked in St John's as a nursing assistant at the Waterford Hospital. She might have ended up with a long and storied nursing career, but instead she met and married Edward Linehan and moved to Johns Pond to start their family. After her 5th child was born and Johns Pond was resettled, the family moved back to North Harbour. Catherine went on to have 5 more children. Her life was riddled with many hardships, accumulating in a tragedy in 1980 when the family home was destroyed by fire and 5 of her children died. Barry, age 10, Harold, 12, Sharon, 14, Richard, 19, and Francis, 21. The family rebuilt meters from where the children were laid to rest. On May 1st, Catherine returned to North Harbour for the launch of a book about her life, If I Cry, I'll Fill the Ocean, written by her daughter, Ida Linehan Young, which is an account of the hardships, trials, and tribulations she faced before and after her grievous loss. Today, I honour Catherine Linehan. Thank you.
The Honourable, the member for Humber Bay of Highlands.
Speaker, I rise today to recognize the late Hedley John Sanders of Curling, who went to his place of rest on April 16 at almost the age of 98. Hedley was born in Greenspan, Bonavista Bay. He was a kind, gentle man who loved life and had a kind soul. He spent many years fundraising for various organizations, including the Autism Society, Bay of Islands Search and Rescue, Special Olympics, raising over $100,000 for these charitable organizations. For many years, in celebration of his birthdays, Hedley requested no presents for himself, but requested donations be made to charities in recognition of his birthday. After his last 2 daughters said goodbyes, Hedley decided it was time to cross the rainbow. He had everything arranged for his funeral, including instructions that when he's being taken out of the church, he wanted everybody to celebrate his life by clapping and singing, and if you didn't, he would haunt you. And I can assure you, he got his wish. Speaker, I ask all members to join me in extending condolences to Hedley's 2 sons, 8 daughters, 3 stepchildren, his grandchildren, and his great-grandchildren, his step-great-grandchildren, and his step-great-grandchildren, and extend the family. And I ask all members to give a final hearty applause to this fine man. Rest in peace, Hedley.
The Honourable, the member for Mount Pearl Southlands.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This past week, communities throughout our province took the opportunity to reflect upon and formally celebrate the tremendous contribution that volunteers make in our society. Whether it be through volunteerism in our schools, faith community, service clubs, sports organizations, youth and seniors organizations, arts community, emergency services, or on an individual basis, we are truly blessed to have so many community-minded citizens in our province who are willing to step up to the plate whenever and wherever they are needed. As I reflect on the volunteer activity in my district, I'm truly blown away by the tens of thousands of hours of time and talent that's given by our citizens each and every year. Their selfless contribution to our community is truly what makes Mount Pearl and the Southlands area such a wonderful place to live. No doubt, government has a significant role to play in shaping and guiding our society, but they can only do so much. So I ask, where would we be without our volunteers? I would ask all honourable members to reflect on that question, and please join me in recognising the tremendous role that volunteers play throughout our province. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable, the member for Conception Bay, East Bell Island.
Thank you, Speaker. I stand today to acknowledge the passing of a constituent from my district, the late Michael Laurie. Mike was a loving husband, father, grandfather, brother, and uncle, a former Royal Canadian Air Force member, a former member of the RCMP, a former member of the RNC, a lawyer, and supporter of the communities he called home as a municipal elected leader. A graduate of a number of universities across the country, Mike took great pride in education. Mike was a man that you knew where he stood on every issue and who was very positive, passionate, and engaged about the province and the potential of its citizens. He would challenge everyone who worked for him to give an honest effort, and he would reward them handsomely. He loved working on his farm and his garden. It was the one thing that relaxed him. Myself and Mike had many a debate about politics and society, and may have had different views, but we always respected each other's opinion. Mike did much more for people than people realize. Speaker, I ask all members of this House to join me in passing on our condolences to his wife, Alexa, and his family. Rest in peace, my friend.
The Honourable, the member for Bonavista.
Thank you, Speaker. It is an honor to celebrate the exemplary service to country of Bonavista's native son, Dennis Goodland. Dennis, one of our own esteemed security detail here at Confederation Building, served 30 years in the Canadian Forces with 3 tours of duty in Afghanistan from 2002 to 2007. Dennis, like his grandfather before him, Oliver Goodland, who served in World War I, joined the military at the age of 20. Oliver served in the Royal Newfoundland Regiment and was awarded the Military Medal of Bravery in the field serving as a runner. On January 2002, Dennis was deployed to Afghanistan and spent several years of his life making a difference in that troubled land, rebuilding schools, installing wells, building roads, and the very memorable occasion of providing treats to children. Dennis served as a sergeant in charge of a unit of 6 soldiers and created lifelong friendships with other Canadian and American soldiers. Unfortunately, he experienced tragedy as well, with many colleagues paying the ultimate sacrifice. There were far too many ramp ceremonies to repatriate fallen soldiers, Dennis has stated. The soldiers, like Dennis, made a huge difference. I ask the members of the 50th House of Assembly to join me in celebrating the outstanding service of our House of Assembly's own Dennis Goodland.